My name is Jolene Jolene and about Yazzie. And lately, my wife gave me a nickname, and it's Bean. And I actually prefer that because it's non-gender. Yeah. Yeah, and I'm Diné, Comanche, and White Mountain Apache. I feel like I'm not sure. Like, I still need to sit with that for a little bit longer because everything that I encountered and witnessed and experienced has been definitely something I don't do every day. So it's been really helpful to actually let me sit outside myself, and I think it's like kind of like not be myself for a while. But then there are certain things that still happen. It was funny because last night when I was walking around Jackson Heights, there was so much culture in that neighborhood that I couldn't pinpoint exactly what would be the perfect picture to capture all of that. And I think that's the best thing that I can say about this fellowship. I can't really. And it's funny because like the only picture that I found that I could come up with to the best, of what I was in my surroundings was that it was a little sign, by a tree, and it said, be I can't remember what it was. So something like help me be clean or something like that. So. If you make me happy, I'll make you happy, kind of thing. I think that it was just really funny, and there was litter all over in that area, and it just made me really sad. Yeah, so that's the best way that I can explain this fellowship. I think it's one of those things where you feel hopelessness, and then you also feel hope all at the same time, and it's just really makes you, I don't know, confused or conflicted, or like it's like, what do you do? What can I not do? Definitely right in the middle of all those things where you're either an observer or a participant, so it's really hard to pinpoint exactly what that is, like what your role is in that. Like, if I feel like all my life I've always been out of my comfort zone, and when you feel like, when people make you feel like that, it's like, then I must be doing something right, because I don't feel like I'm hurting anybody, but I'm just, having fun. I feel like this fellowship is an experience that I'm just having a New York experience. And I haven't traveled in so long. The last time I really traveled to another country was in Spain, in Basque Country, and I think I forgot what it meant to travel to different places, and the different ways people address you, and the different ways people are rude and nice in their own ways, and some people are not even aware of it. And I think that's the part that I totally forgot about traveling. And when I came here, it was like, kind of, I don't know how to it was more like, I don't know, I think I'm rambling. I'm probably, I just forgot about all those things. And when you forget stuff like that for so long, like a lot of old things come up, Right. And I was just trying to, just look at the better side of it, because I've actually never really sat with this alone. I've always was with my wife or, some of my family members, and I had that support where I would just brush it off. So being here isolated from, with everybody else in New York and away from my family, it was more like, oh shit, I really have to think about this, and it was, and another thing is, like, I would always deal with them in really unhealthy ways, and now, like, I'm healthy, and I know that I've always been in uncomfortable situations all my life, And I guess the part about this is actually doing it by myself, you know, and trying to figure out what I'm going to do with it later, and like how I'm going to better take care of myself the next time it happens, because it's always going to happen, you know. And you know, that's always been my reality. So like, I know what reality is, you know. And it's just, I don't want to watch myself beat myself up over it anymore. Yeah. One of the things that always used to push me to do things was the bad things, you know. Just really negative experiences would push me to do, you know, that's how I found my style with art. And when it came, you know, to being happy and having, you know, a really loving life in a safe home, it's like, oh shit, like what am I gonna do now? You know, like what, like I've never had to create art from happiness. So I think sometimes when you're happy all the time, like you try to look for the bad things in order to, I mean, it sounds so wrong, but that's how I've always operated, you know. That's how, I don't know, it's just really, really twisted how that works with me. But I mean, even I can even remember in Denver where I was in a photography class, a photojournalism class, and you know, like all couples, I mean, you know, my wife would have a, you know, a little disagreement, and the first thing I would do was, you know, go for a walk and start taking photos and take it back to class, and those would be my best photos in the class. And even that was really frustrating. It's just like, is that the only time that I can create really good art is from my frustrations? Like, why can't I do it when I'm happy? So I think that starts to talk about the process. I have to start taking those pieces and taking them apart and trying to figure out why that is, and maybe start a different process. I think in a really unconscious sense, I did actually start something new that I don't give a lot of praise to. I think that's definitely something happy that made me push me to do something, because I had a really good support system. Mm-hmm. And I think this time around with, you know, my career, because my career totally changed, you know, from that day, and that was like in 2015. And I'm doing things that I never thought I would do when I was an artist, you know, like I'm actually writing, I'm actually doing internships with, you know, about writing, and it just really freaks me out, but it's really cool. And, you know, my wife used to be a journalist, and so like having that support, and I guess in a way, you know, I have been doing things out of happiness because I have that really good support system. I never thought of that, but cool. I really think that every fellowship, art fellowship, any kind of fellowship should always have that, because it's really important. Oh, when something would happen, I'm like, okay, I get to see a therapist. I'm gonna wait until, you know, until that day comes, and until then I'm just gonna hurry up and keep going on, you know, hurry up and get to this place, and then get it over with, and then, you know, just wait until therapy, and then I'll let it all come out. Yeah, I don't think I actually have been able to sit down and process everything yet. And I think that's the reason why it's been really frustrating, because you know, when these certain bad things would happen, I want to hurry up and like just figure it out like right then and there. But then realizing, you know, like I'm in the fellowship, and like there is a time for that, and I can't do that right now. It needs to be later, you know. It's time. This opportunity has allowed me to let my Hansel and Gretel tote go, to finally live the person I am supposed to be for me, you, and ours.